I want to say right up front, I'm going to mostly do members only live streams from here on out. And if you can't afford a membership, I would really appreciate, and you want to be a part of the members only live streams, I would like to try to make sure that you get a membership. Like, there's a few ways to go about that. So if you don't, I know you can comment on this video or email me. We're going to try to figure out a way to get the people in there that want to be in there. I'm not trying to make you pay money. It's just like I want to offer something to members. The live streams, it's like as many views as I do get, it's not it's not that profitable, honestly, after my first like YouTube check. And that's not to say like it's not worth it, but I think it would be cozier and better to have smaller live streams with less people. Hi, Jacob, how are you? And I also wanted to apologize. Last night in my live stream, I said that Jack Morgan was talking about a woman who was living off a man. I misconstrued his video with another YouTuber's video. And literally, right after I got on my live stream, that video was playing. And it was like the beginning of Jack Morgan's video. And I was like, oh shit, like I totally fucked up on that. I didn't mean to say that Jack said that. I was thinking about somebody else and I was talking about Jack right before that and I'd said it about Jack and I did it twice. And I'm like, so from now on, I'm not going to react to any YouTubers, any people until and unless I can do the screen share with you guys and I can like show you the videos and we can watch the clips of the things I'm reacting to together in real time. That or an edited video. That's like a new rule of mine. My mind is all over the place and I don't like that. I don't like providing any, even though that was like very, I mean, I wouldn't say that was a me saying a complete lie, but anyways, like I don't want to misconstrue anybody else's work, whether or not I like them. And then when I re-listened to my live from last night, I'm like, I feel like I'm coming off like I'm begrudging of other people's wealth. And like I really don't want to come off that way because I do believe if you have a lot, Chrissy Horton is a mom that I follow here. I posted her to my page. She was making videos about Charlie Kirk. She's a great example of like somebody with a lot of wealth. Hey, Yoda, how are you right now? And like, I'm glad she has excess. I'm glad that there are people out there that have an abundance financially. I don't mean to come off as hateful as that at all. And like, that's what I was saying, trying to say last night. Like, but when I re-listened to it, I felt like I didn't do a good job overall. And I don't want to come to you guys and just like spew negativity, but it was, a rant. And just so more people in here, I want to reiterate, I'm going to only react to YouTubers, other people, when I can screen share and share things with you guys. When I was talking about Jack Morgan last night, I got some things wrong, and I realized as soon as I got off the live, and I almost privated it, and I was like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal to say that he said something like about gold diggers." Like I will make another reaction video to him. He makes a lot of good content where he is just like it's other people talking, basically, one of those YouTube channels. I'm not saying that I made a video kind of like that recently, but I think if I'm going to react to people, I should do it in real time or do an edited video, and you guys need to see their words too. I think that's just like a good rule for me and my scattered brain, so I'm sorry about that. And I wanted to clarify, once again, it's easy to come off as begrudging of other people's wealth, and I do believe they earned it. That's the thing. Like I do believe these people earned their money when they earned a lot of money. The thing is, there's just such a disparity with wages, and like we just don't earn as much as we should as blue collar workers. So to have the people who sit down, and yes, they do go through a lot of stress mentally, it's stressful. Even these jobs where you're sitting down, like I get it. Like you are at risk for stroke and heart attack more so with office jobs. Like like, my husband prefers not to work a job like that. He did work an office job for the first 10 years of our marriage, and it was unhealthier for him in a lot of ways. At the same time, I would like to see him not work such a physical job into his 50s or 60s because then his body is going to break down. It's like either or. It seems to be the people I know in my life, like they either work their bodies really hard or they work their minds really hard. And like each can be just as stressful in their own ways, and I think each should be honored, just like men and women complement each other. Like, we need each other. We need the intellectual, college-having, high-earning people to, sit at their desks and make money. We need the men who decided not to go to college, who started to refine their skills, their trades, as soon as they became adult money-making individuals, and, like, both of them are just as worthy. In my opinion, often, a lot of the time, it is the men, and that's where that saying that is coming from, where people are like, people don't respect the men who build society. I do agree with that. We give more respect to the men who went to college and got a degree, and then they're one of the reasons why we don't have a savings, and then they turn around and point the finger at us. It's the attorney fees, sir. We did go through a court battle with when my husband's father passed away, a girlfriend that never even lived with him got most of his estate. Yeah. And in some states that may happen. So these people that think they're protecting themselves just by not getting married, like you're not always protecting yourself by just not getting married. Be careful. There's definitely a black widow, in my opinion. She had a history of this, and she's done it since. But like the cops didn't investigate it for that, and this happens so much. You have to just like watch your back and advocate for everybody in your life. So yeah, we went through a court battle. Attorney fees sucked us dry at the beginning of our marriage. It was always something. And when I replayed it, and I'm like, oh, I'm saying like $3,000 to $5,000. That's like nothing to him. He pays $3,000 a month for health insurance. And I see, once again, I'm going to start coming off as super negative. I don't want to. It's just like the people that pay 3 grand a month for their family's health insurance for healthy people. This is healthy people, mind you. It's just in case of an emergency. He made that clear. Those people, if they could vote with their dollars, what a difference they would make. If they would take their money out of the system, because like, dude, come on, do you not have enough money set aside in case of an emergency? You're like basically you're paying 3 grand a month, $36,000 a year. That's more than our monthly bills. That's more than our mortgage, utilities, cell phones, car insurance. I'm not trying to show off. Like that's sincerely more than our monthly bills. $3,000 a month. It's just insane to me. And you're giving all of that to insurance companies just in case. You're giving all that to like, the most crooked of crooks. And I get that. See, I know that. I know people are going to be like, well, it is in case of an emergency. I get that. But let's be real. If you have enough money to give $3,000 a month in case of an emergency, don't you have enough money to save up in case of that emergency? I just don't get it. And it's like those people that are like keeping these systems going once, and it is for the betterment of us in some situations, like retail stores wouldn't be open for any of us if it wasn't for the high income earners spending more money than the rest of us can spend because it's being siphoned off of us. And a lot of it is the professionals, and like a car repair. And I don't mean that about mechanics. Mechanics don't make as much money as they used to. It's not as easy to make as much money as it used to be being like a master auto mechanic. A lot of that has to do with the computerization of cars and everything. So like I don't mean that towards mechanics. Like they're one of those professionals that makes decent money and they should make that decent money in my opinion. And but then the guys that change the oil, like they're still working a hard job. A lot of those guys only make like 12 or $14 an hour. It's just not right. Like nobody makes enough. I'm about halfway through my notes. And so moving up the economic ladder is harder than ever, and it's not because people aren't working hard enough. I don't know why high income earners just can't commiserate with that. You don't have to do anything about it. You don't even have to spread awareness to it. But to get online and point the finger, like I don't see why you can't see the wage stagnation, the inflation, and be like, oh yeah, it's like it's not right that people can't work these jobs they used to be able to work and stay afloat with. And becoming a homeowner was the number one way that the average American climbed up the economic ladder. It still is. It's just like a lot. It's a lot harder, and it's going to possibly keep being that way. Most people are struggling, and yeah, some of it is people are bad with money. Some of it is people get the best house, the newest car that they can. I'll give you that. That is true. But here in America, that like we're supposed to be able to do that in America. And I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody's bad choices, but like the reality of the situation is people are using credit to buy food. Like stuff is really bad for a lot of people. And it's not because they're not working hard enough. Okay. That's not the problem. What can we do? We can vote with our dollars and be as self-sustainable as possible. That's what I always say. And a lot of people are already doing that in Kentucky. A lot of people are already used to being dirt poor, dirt rich is what I would like to call it. And it's like it, because of that, I think when the inevitable collapse does happen, whether or not it's in our lifetimes, like people in Kentucky will survive some of the longest out of all of our states. Consider alternative forms of housing is another thing we need to do. Kristen Dirkson's channel features so many alternative dwellings, and like it's like something that like that inspired me. If I didn't have the inspiration, sources of like that for inspiration, we wouldn't have sold our first house and made the move that we did. We would have like felt stuck, like, oh, we have like a nice starter home in a nice neighborhood. Why move? Why take the risk? We don't know where we're going, but we knew what we wanted. We sought it, and I think we got it. We did move twice in a year, a lot of people would think that was crazy, but when we're on our deathbeds, I don't think we're going to have as many regrets as people who like, decided to like, I'm sorry. I see sit pretty in their houses for 20 years straight, which is great. If that's what you want, that stability to do that, that is great. But it is also great to be a homeowner and have the equity and be able to move almost anywhere you want to after you've been there a solid several years because you have that equity going for you. We need to focus on a closed loop system of growing food at home is share with others. If you can't do that yourself, then support the people that do. And although we are all fighting our own battles, we are also fighting many of the same. And we need to like focus on that. They're siphoning every last dollar from all of us, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much money you make. The property taxes for people like Ox Talks, like his house, like I don't think it's right that people are getting taxed to death the way that they are when they have like really nice properties. And I already said this, a lot of it is how we are socialized to have the biggest house, nicest, newest car, and everything that we can. But let's be real. We have a lot of disparities in our country. There's like so many issues, especially with the cost of medical care. To point the finger at anybody and be like, why don't you have more? And like that whole like you need to buy less coffee, out, buy less avocado toast and everything. Nobody can afford hardly anything. And um we need to I feel like major change won't happen until we can get at least like 1 to 3% of that top 10% income earners to like really be on our side and stop just pointing the finger at us like it's our fault for, and I said this last night, I don't really think it's a coping mechanism. Like they feel bad sincerely inside. I think it's some subconscious weird thing where like they can't settle with the fact that they make $500 an hour, and then the person, jackhammering up the road to install new plumbing for their fancy house is like making $50 an hour, you know? So I just think there's something to that because most people do have a heart deep down inside. And even if they're not literally sitting there thinking those thoughts, okay, I think I got my point across. Once again, I'm going to make sure that I can screen share with you guys or I do an edited video when I react to people. I didn't say anything about Ox Talks. That wasn't true or I didn't feel, but I did feel a little bad when I replayed it because he is sincerely a good man. He seems like a good man, at least. He comes across as a good man. He talked about missing his daughter when she went off for college, and I thought that was so sweet. I never seen any other man do that on YouTube, but then again, I don't follow oodles of men on YouTube either. But like I felt kind of bad when I was like, well, you were in the room with those people that were like making money before the housing crash. And it's like these are the thoughts that come up when the people with money start pointing the finger. I sincerely don't feel that. I try my hardest to do unto others. Like I hope to have that much money one day. I hope to have a lot of money too one day. But I also know that like the last thing I will ever do is point the finger at other people and be like, why don't you have more? And I also understand, just like Jack Morgan points out a lot, like people are kind of spoiled in certain ways in our country. Immigrants will come over here and they have much more of a business mindset. They take advantage of the educational opportunities more so, it seems like, than a lot of people who have been here for generations. There are dynamics like that that need to be spoken about that could help us all if we spoke about them. But we need to help people like before they turn 18. We need to help them like not get in the debt trap. My son has gotten credit card offers since he was 16 years old. Like what? That is so predatory and wrong. Like they are, and like I was never taught anything about credit cards. Actually, it was the opposite. I had a parent that was encouraging me to get credit cards to help pay their bills. So, it's not everybody's fault when they start off in life with like bad credit. Not everybody has mentorship. Not everybody has a springboard of a parent that can help them with college and everything. And good for you. I'm really glad for my brothers and sisters that had an easier go in life in those ways, and that still do. And I know not all people with money look down on people without it. I know that. But it's the people that do. That's what incites these feelings. Like I said, I don't want to come off as begrudging of other people's hard-earned wealth because I do believe that those men earned every dollar. But I also believe two things can be true at the same time, that people are not making enough money when they work hard, laborious, blue collar jobs most of the time, like 95% of the time. Those men are responsible for literally building all of society. And there are too many taxes, Mark. Yes. Poker, I think all politicians suck. I honestly did like Trump. I wanted Trump to win. I've always been transparent about that, but I did not vote for Trump. I've been disillusioned with the system for like 4 or 5 years now, completely. Honestly, for like 8 to 10 years, really. Soon we have to sell our asses to keep going our normal day expenses. That's not funny. Oh gosh, $50 and minimum is 7.50 minimum wage, Taylor, right? The defense minister looks like he's an alcoholic, Pokerson. I don't know who you're talking about. I can't think of who that is. Yoder said, Mark, I agree. We had to get our own insurance and it's killing us. Oh, it's so awful. I was working in a factory for a year and a half, and the reason why I was hanging on to that job, even though I knew I was barely hanging on to it for a while, was because the benefits were so good. And the insurance, like we'll never get insurance that good, that cheap again, unless I go back to that factory, you know. Um, okay. If you have a sincere question, put a thumbs up and ask her your question. That's a really good idea, Yoder. That helps me. That would help me sift through. I would like it if some people use that suggestion because I'm sitting here reading and I don't like being quiet at all. I don't like being silent. Bro, don't let that girl come over to your house and eat up all your groceries. Okay, see, this is I'm from Kentucky, but I'm mostly English, Irish, and a quarter Swiss, German Swiss, and a quarter Colombian. If you're asking like my heritage. I hope you have a great day, Movie Facts, if you're still here. Hey Zeus, how are you? I do have to hop off of here. I gave my kid a big snack, like a snack platter. It's like I have to get on here and say my piece. Student loans are probably more predatory than credit cards. People that have mid 5 to 6 digit worth of student loans breaks my heart. Yes, Jesus, I completely agree with you. Oh, you're right, actually, because you can walk in the door 18 years old, no income, you know, and get so many more student loan into so much more student loan debt than you can credit card debt, right? At least they only give you like $300 or $500 credit cards when they're like the student visas when you're walking into at 18 with no credit. And I just thought that was funny. I had no credit, like, I didn't have bad credit, but I had no credit after being a stay-at-home mom for 15 years, and when I was trying to get back into the credit game and I go to get a credit card, I can't get one because I have no credit, but my 18-year-old can get one with no credit. How do you make sense out of that? Because they know that the 38-year-old woman who has no credit probably isn't going to, like, play their game and be as good of a customer for them in all the ways that they want, you know? Like, maybe I won't be the one to, like, max out the credit card and just keep paying the minimum over and over because I kinda, like, stayed out of the game this long, you know? Not to say that's true for everybody. Razu, what do you think about Trump saying he will categorize anti-fascism and ideology as a terrorist organization? Razu, I think that it's horrible and they're okay, so right and left are two sides of the same coin to me, and it's not surprising to me at all. I wouldn't doubt if this all happened on purpose. I think it's just as tragic no matter who did it, no matter what the root cause was for Charlie Kirk's unaliving, it's just as tragic and for the same reasons because of a man losing his life the way that he did and because of all of us in our freedom of speech being threatened the way that it was and is. And I figured something like that was gonna happen, right? Like, that's what always does. Whether or not they planned it and carried it out, they're using it to their advantage, and I just think that that's really sick, and I'm not surprised. Jesus, Yoder, great idea. Live streamers usually say place a capital Q for questions, but the thumbs up is easier to see. I've never seen that capital Q either, but that is right. You're right. The thumbs up would be easier. Swiss eyes. Oh, that's funny, Yoder. I never heard that before. Hey Zeus, that's what I think. Not too hard. If it's an honest question, she'll see the color. Oh, I was just getting ready to get off of here because my kid's like sitting beside me waiting for me. Him, your life's not over yet because you're still here, and I'm glad you're still here. And just keep thinking good thoughts for you. I know that that's not helpful. I don't want to be patronizing to you. I'm just gonna always hope that you find something that makes you feel better. Gabe. I thought for sure you were gonna say, "Go make one." Razzie, why would the, unaliving of Charlie Kirk justify this? I didn't say it would justify it. I said it would be a reason why they didn't, so they could sweep in and make some anti-free speech laws. But anyways, I said everything I wanted to say. I misconstrued something that Jack Morgan said in my last stream. I'm really sorry about that. I don't think I misconstrued anything that Ox Talk said, but I just felt bad about the way I came off. I don't want to come off as hateful. I hope to be a monetarily wealthy person one day myself. So I do believe in the law of attraction. If you're gonna like be mad at people who have the wealth, if you're gonna be envious or jealous of them, you're just pushing that away from yourself and your own family. So I don't want to come off as that way at all. And I was just like in a ranting kind of mood. And it really does get to me that we're in the great when we learned about the Great Depression in school, I would have never thought that I'd be going through this with my peers in similar situation. Only they're just not being as honest with us about it. Only I guess, the stock market hasn't crashed yet. But anyways, I want to bring positivity and light, and I really do appreciate. I got some of the sweetest, nicest comments I've ever gotten in my life in my YouTube career. This last week, it means the world to me. It's more than my monetization. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And there's some drama where some people, like, from, the Titus camp stuff is, like, trying to say stuff about, like, Mr. Carey and Anna being the same person, even though they've both gone live on their channels before. Like, I can't take any of it seriously besides that, I'm really tired of grown men that could be my father. I wish they would just, like, keep my name out of their mouths, and for a year now, I've been saying that Henson guy is trouble. For a year, I said he, like, low-key threatened me. I don't look kindly upon an older man. He shows off that he supposedly has more protection orders taken out on him than anybody else ever has in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I don't know how true that is, but he has had literally dozens. So this is the reason why I'm trying to be stealth with, like, keeping my last name. I wanna be face to face with you guys, like, I don't give my information out because, like, yeah, there's people that don't live super far away that are creepy and have already threatened me, and I have children in my care. But also remember, I have 2 mastiffs. Well, I have a crazy giant dog who still has his balls, and he is crazy, okay? Just remember that, Henson. See, I feel like I don't even say that. Like, um, but at the same time, I don't feel threatened. I do have a lot of faith. I'm not gonna let people like that make me feel threatened, but it does say a lot about Beyond Help that he would, socialize with these people. That person threatened him and his own son, like, death threats at that. He didn't even threaten me that much. He just, like, threatened me a little, and that was enough for me. No. Once again, like, you show me who you are, I'm gonna believe you. Like, grown men fighting on the internet, whole grown men in their 50s fighting on the internet, stay away from me. I want nothing to do with you. And I know I invite it on myself when I, like, said stuff about Aaron and he said stuff about me. I don't mean to make it sound like I can dish it out, but I can't take it. But, I don't talk about Henson. I don't want him to talk about me anymore. He's making low-key veiled threats about, like, my channel being at risk and stuff because he's jealous. Because he doesn't have a monetized channel and he never will. Let's be real. And he's jealous of that. And there's a bunch of people that are like-minded with him. Definitely not vegan. I would never be vegan. I just drank a bunch of milk from the farm down the street. Anyways, I'm sorry if I didn't see any comments. Tin Man said, "You are loved and cared for, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes." That's very sweet, Tin Man. I really thank you for saying that. I'm depressed really bad, Jesus, Tim said. Could you say a small prayer for Tim Watkins, please? His comment made me sad. I don't have anything to make me happy. Let's all pray for Tim. And Tim, I hope that makes you, and like I said, I've been depressed myself before. It was situational. I've never been depressed like long term, but like that's why I feel so much for people. I couldn't imagine feeling that way long term. And I hope that like people that have you and are happy to see you here, like when you came in my life after not being there for a few weeks, and not to make it about me, I just don't know what to say besides like I really hope you find a way to ground you, something that makes you feel better, whatever made you feel happy last. Like, I know you think that that's silly, but I'm like, it is like psychological. It's not just me being like a foo-foo new age woman. I swear to God. You like do things that made you happy in your childhood and reconnect with that part of yourself. And it might be your teenagehood, early adulthood. If it means a trip to the craft store, like whatever you have to do to feel better. Jesus, Tim Watkins, Lord, please help Tim in his darkest times. May your light shine on him in his loneliest. Give Tim the strength to pull through. Let him know that he is loved and he's not alone. That is so nice. Thank you, Jesus. And that's what I would like to cultivate more of here. And you guys, I've never had people like my regulars, Anna, Mr. Carey, Tim, Jesus, Jay Hardy, we've got Shaw to the T, there's Billy Clancy, there's all sorts of people that come in here on a regular basis. Dory and oh gosh. And I've always had, like, one close friend. I've always been, like, a loner in that way, and a happy loner. I'm not saying it like boohoo. I'm a happily introverted person, so, like, for me to have this platform and for me to have, like, the people that do come back on a regular basis, and I know that there's some regular lurkers out there too, because I'm a regular lurker of many other people too, so I get it. Like, to have people that, do listen to me, even when I look back on my own content and I'm a little embarrassed by it because I'm coming off a little too, like, that means the world to me to feel accepted like that, and that's what I want for everybody. Like, that's what we all need, right? We all need to be accepted by other people. And yeah, I don't want to cry, but yes, I love you. I'll be on later tonight. Okay, bye.